Hi, it's August the 11th and this is your daily devotion. I'm sitting on my granddaughter Olivia's slide right now. Olivia and I go down this slide together sometimes, but sometimes Olivia's a little scared. She's not quite ready to go zooming down by herself. I like slides, especially water slides. My family and I have gone to lots of water parks, and I'm always eager to climb the highest one and go down the steepest one. Once I went with our youth group to a water park where one of the slides was all enclosed in the dark. It was like a tunnel that you go through. And all the kids were saying, "Come on, Pastor Joyce, you should slide, it's fun." But I didn't want to because I could not see what was happening inside that slide. And I knew that when I got in there, I wouldn't be able to see what was coming in the dark. I like to know what's coming so I can prepare for it. I think maybe we're all getting a lesson in that right now. Having the faith to go forward when you can't see what's coming around the next turn, or maybe you can't see the next turn. God made us to be clever and creative and to have a certain ability to put things in order and a desire to have a certain order. But spiritually speaking and generally speaking, we have to admit day in and day out that our knowledge is limited. Again, we're getting a crash course in that. I wonder if we could see right where we were and we could see the whole big picture, if we would really understand it, or if seeing what we couldn't understand would just bring more confusion. Because even though we're made in God's image, we're not God. Worrying about what might come and wanting to prepare for that before it happens. It is such a human tendency that we have a lot of phrases about that in our language. See if you recognize any of these. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't hold your breath. Be careful what you wish for. Famous last words. And my favorite, are you crossing your bridges before you get to them? I was once awarded the honor of being an Olympic athlete in crossing bridges before you get to them event, if that event should ever be in the games. One of my friends and professors said, "Joyce, are you training for the Olympics and crossing your bridges before you get to them?" God spoke to his children about their fears and their anxieties, even though God had always taken care of them through the prophet Jeremiah, and they were in a struggle. But he said to them, "I know the plans I have for you. Plans to bless you and not to harm you. Plans for hope and a future." And Jesus, of course, spoke about the senselessness of our anxiety, which he certainly saw and understood. The famous passages in Matthew and in Luke, consider the lilies of the field. In the Luke passage at the end, though, there is a verse that I really love. Luke 12:32. "Do not be afraid, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." What a nurturing, comforting verse. Little flock, do not be afraid, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure. I ultimately did go down that water slide, and it was exciting and thrilling, and not only did I survive it, but I enjoyed it, and I went down it again. What I decided was that ultimately I trusted the folks that were telling me this is good. this is okay. You'll enjoy the ride. And I ultimately decided that I trusted the makers of the slide, that they intended it to be for our joy and not for our demise. That would not serve their purposes. And so I went down the slide. We may not be able to see every turn in our winding and sometimes seemingly darkened winding path, but we can trust the one who created the ride, the very one who's going to catch us at the end and take us even further into life that is joyful, filled with love and life that never ends. Do not be afraid, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. I hope you have a great day, and whenever possible, enjoy the ride.